With Indians boycotting Turkey over its support for Pakistan and Turkish President Erdogan's hostility towards Israel, many believe closer ties between Greece, India, and Israel could benefit all three countries. Today, we are here in Athens, Greece, with Ioannis Poltsidis, a Greek lawyer and president of the youth department of the Greek Conservative Party Voice of Reason, to discuss this budding alliance. Ioannis, thank you for being here today. You recently posted a viral video of Indian soldiers training with the Greek Navy, which sparked a lot of online interest. And as someone who served in the Greek Navy, what do you think this says about public enthusiasm for a Greek and Indian connection?
Both India and Greece have a lot in common. Greece is the first democracy, is the country that created democracy, and India is the biggest democracy in the world. Both countries are facing the same problem, the Islamic radicalism that is expressed in the state level. We have Turkey, we have a country that threatens us and questions our sovereignty and borders. And India has Pakistan, which is a country that is doing exactly the same on India, trying to take Indian soil from India.
We see a lot of economic and military cooperation between India and Israel already, but is there any official framework or alliance on the Greek side that matches this level of cooperation between India and Greece?
No, as I said, steps have been made towards this destination, but we need to make more significant steps. Both countries need to tighten their relationship more. They need to make even further steps and face the common enemy that is called Islamic terrorism. We need to strengthen our cooperation even more. We need to make steps in the military industry. We need to build weapons that match our needs. We need to make even more steps and face the same common enemy that is called Islamic terrorism. Whether it's called Turkey, whether it's called Pakistan, whether it's called Hamas, Iran, Hezbollah, we need to come even closer to this destination. We need to become as one.
Ioannis, you mentioned your support for an Indian-Greek-Israeli alliance. Why do you believe this alliance is important?
You see, India, the three nations have a lot in common. First of all, we're ancient nations facing, that we were in the region for thousands of years, facing the same problem, radicalism. The same problem that India has with Pakistan, an Islamic country, threatening the sovereignty of India. The same problem has Israel with Hamas, with Lebanon, with Iran, threatening the integrity and sovereignty of Israel, and the same problem we have here in Greece with Turkey. We need to get closer and face the problem in its core.
How do you see the relationship between Greece and Israel evolving, especially with Israel's souring relationships with Turkey?
Since 2010, the Greek-Israeli relations have skyrocketed. We see a lot of close cooperation in the military industry. We see a lot of Israeli weapons being sold to Greece. We see that the Israelis are joining a lot of Greek exercises, and we see a lot of political support from Israel to Greece. But we need to further our relationship even more. We need to make steps towards this destination and see Greece supporting Israel even more. We should leave the neutrality and we should support Israel to the full. First of all, we should recognize the Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. We should support Israel in its war against Hamas, against Hezbollah. We need to support Israel within the European Union and make sure that Israel gets European funds to fund its war against terrorism, and also make sure that NATO will support Israel fully against the war, both against the war with Hamas, both against the war with Hezbollah, and mostly against Iran.
Israel's National Security Council advised Israelis to avoid traveling to Turkey, while in India, there's a growing push to boycott Turkish products and promote travel to Greece. By the way, here in Greece, I'm hearing a whole lot of Hebrew. What do you think about Greece being this safe alternative for Indian and Israeli travelers?
You see, India, if we want to speak the truth, Turkey is not a safe place for Israelis. The Sultan of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, called Israel the cancer of the world. So there is a huge growing racism against Israelis that visiting Turkey. We see a lot of incidents happening with Israelis visiting Turkey. We see a lot of incidents that actually, and that's the worst part, those incidents against Israeli tourists are supported by the local population and by the government. Turkey is not a safe place for the Israelis. So to this, a good alternative is Greece. Greece is a safe house for the Israelis. Greece is a safe house for the Israelis that want to come here and invest in Greece. And actually, we've seen a lot of investment from the Israelis. If you see, a lot of big hotels are owned by Israeli companies. A lot of real estate is owned by the Israelis that come and invest here with the Golden Visa program.
It seems that Israel and Greece have a lot of collaboration in the private sector.
We see a lot of Israelis coming here and investing in Greece. And that's because Greece provides a safe place for the Israelis to come and visit and see the place and spend their holidays here, but also to invest their money here and get a huge return.
And now the Indians are deciding that we see this as a safe place for Israelis, and we also want to come and enjoy Greece as well.
I just want to say this. Every Indian rupee and every Israeli shekel that is being spent on Turkey ends up funding the Pakistani terrorists, the Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists, and the other terrorist groups that work against Israel and India.
Ioannis, thank you so much for sharing your insights. And it's interesting to see as these global dynamics shift, it's clear that the public sentiment online is shaping key alliances between Israel, Greece, and India. Thank you so much for being here.
It was nice being here.
In the fog of war, facts are hard to come by. Combine that with our age of social media and AI, and the truth is even harder to discern. Hello and welcome to Taiwan Talks. I'm Ian Kavat. Today, we have the privilege of sitting down with India's Director General to Taiwan, Manhassin Yadav, India Taipei Association Director General, to discuss the India-Pakistan conflict and more. A very warm welcome to the show today, Director General. Kashmir lies in the Himalayan region of South Asia and was once known as the Switzerland of Asia. Since the 1947 partition of British India and the creation of Pakistan, these two nuclear-armed neighbours have fought multiple wars over control of Kashmir. India and Pakistan both claim full sovereignty over the region, although each controls only part of it. A portion is also under Chinese administration. This has made Kashmir one of the most heavily militarized regions in the world. So, Director General, India and Pakistan have gone to war over Kashmir multiple times before. What do you think triggered the April 22nd Pahalgam attack?
Thank you, Ms. Yin, for giving me this opportunity. Let me begin by saying that I would not term this as conflict in Jammu and Kashmir. Let's look at the flow of event. On April 22nd, there was a brutal terrorist attack on tourists in Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. This brutal attack was on people who came to Pahalgam from all across the country. And among the people who lost their lives, there was also one citizen of Nepal. It is clear that this was attack on India, and hence India responded under the right to self-defense. Now, let's also look at the brutal nature of this attack. People were shot at point-blank range in front of their families. It's very clear that these terrorists had threefold motives. Number one, they wanted to create fear psychosis in the country. Number two, they wanted to disrupt the peace and prosperity in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. As you probably know, in 2024, there were popular elections in Jammu and Kashmir. And a lot of tourists were also coming to Jammu and Kashmir. Again, to give you a figure, just last year, 23 million people visited Jammu and Kashmir. So it was on a path of progress and prosperity. And this terrorist act was to disrupt that peace and prosperity. And third, it was also an action to sow discord in a multi-plural country like India. So overall, the terrorist attack was on India, and hence India responded in a very measured manner. Our response came on May 7th, wherein the Indian Armed Forces targeted 9 terrorist infrastructures in Pakistan. All these sites were targeted with pinpoint accuracies. All the sites are well-known terrorist hideouts. They are well-known terrorist training grounds, including some of proscribed UN-designated terrorists. As you know, Pakistan has a long history of providing safe havens to terrorists. And of course, the case of bin Laden being found in Abbottabad is very well known. So on May 7th, our action was a measured one. It was done with a pinpoint accuracy. And Pakistan decided to escalate it subsequently on May 8th and on May 9th by targeting various civilian and military installations in India. To the credit of Indian armed forces, not even a single missile could get through our layered self-defense mechanism. So while our attacks were pinpoint and targeted one, none of their attacks could go through. And on May 10th, we responded by attack on 11 of their air bases. This was to erode their ability to further escalate. Subsequently, on May 11th, the Pakistani Director General of Military Operations reached out to our DGMO, and a ceasefire was announced between them. So this is the flow of event. This again, I wanted to narrate so that you have facts in front of you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, during the conflict, China's state-backed Global Times reposted reports like this from Pakistan saying India's S-400 air defense system was destroyed by Pakistan. The narratives were also disseminated by China's Xinhua news agency. Director General, so this post still stands on Twitter, on X. It has not been taken down. Can you respond to these allegations first?
You know, the episode you mentioned are the kind of misinformation campaigns that one has to tackle. You know, there are a lot of false narratives going on what happened and what didn't happen. But let's look at the real facts on the ground. Number one, our attack was on the terrorist infrastructure. We were able to do it with the pinpoint accuracies. Number two, we attacked the 11 Pakistan Air Force bases, and all our missiles were able to get through and destroy those air bases. So these are the real facts on the ground. Now, people are bound to play with false narratives, but I think these false narratives don't have much legs to go on. The facts on the ground are very clear. Thank you.
Audio Jungle.